coaches, master certified life coaches, I should say. And they are going to be asking whatever they wish. I am here to answer all questions. Those of you watching, please comment, share, like, participate. We love hearing from you. Also, those here with me today, please don't be afraid to give if you have experience in anything that we're talking about, share it. I'm the first one to say that there's a whole lot of world out there and I don't know it all. So please, 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 your input is valued. Both those watching and you guys here as well. So let's go ahead and start introducing ourselves. I'm going to begin with Story.
Hi there, I'm Story Lynn, and I am a life coach based in Sarasota, Florida, but hopefully, ideally, having clients all over the world. And I work in particular with women in transition, helping them to create and find joy in their lives, no matter what changes have been thrown in their way.
Very nice. And next up, let's do, it's Yael? Did I say that right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi. So I'm Yael, and I'm based in New York City. I am a life coach for women to help them or guide them towards self-confidence. You know, I work with really any age groups, but my niche is just, you know, empowering women to find confidence in who they are and to live a happy life. And I'm loving it. I just started less than a year ago, and I'm in heaven. I'm in complete heaven doing what I do. And I see Story smiling.
That's what I like to hear. And we'll delve more into that. I want to ask more questions about that too. Shireen.
Hi, I'm Shireen, and I'm just starting my coaching business. I am a parenting coach, and my goal is to turn parents into collaborators, and find their strength in while doing what they're doing, as like on day-to-day basis.
Very nice. And there may be other people that come and go and join us throughout this, but we'll get going with you three. So what do you guys have any questions for me at all?
I do.
Uh-huh.
So, I am just starting out, and I'm currently designing my own site, and I'm making use of a platform called Wix. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Of
course, I love Wix. Absolutely. I think it's so user intuitive and friendly. So
I can't really afford a designer or web designer. And so marketing is all new to me. And so what I would love to do with your permission is share the template of the site that I'm just starting to create and get your feedback, like your instant feedback on what do you notice? What do you think I could work on, if you're willing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you'll just go ahead and share your screen and pull that up. While you're doing that, I want to ask you, who is your target market? Who are you speaking to? What are their pain points?
Okay, so my target market is women, and particularly women in transition that are looking to create more joyous lives. So I am, a divorce survivor, thriver, and it took me literally 2 years to relearn how to smile. And it was a long process, but I am creating a life that is filled with joy, where I'm doing things that I never imagined that I would do. And in fact, the first image, like this is the landing page. Can you see this? This is the landing page of my website that I'm currently creating.
Can you do me a huge favor? So you should be able to go in the top here. You should be able to go to preview. Perfect. If you could click preview, that way I can see it clearly.
Okay. So again, can you see it clearly now?
Yeah.
Okay. So again, I am not a designer, and this is all new for me. That's an image of me standing at the top of Half Dome in Yosemite.
Yeah, which I have hiked. So I don't want you to scroll. I want you to stay exactly where you are at. So this area that we're looking at right now is something that is called above the fold. So it's just like with the newspaper, when you fold it in half, the top part that is above the fold. In truth, people do not scroll. They do, but the first impression, this is where you want to wow them. So looking at this right now, what do you see?
What do I see?
Mhm.
I see myself. I see a woman standing on top of a massive boulder.
So if I am going to your site, the first thing I'm going to want to do is be given direction. I'm going to be want to given a single option, a button. I would put a button in this area. I like empowering you to turn I could never into yes, I can. That I would bring up, of course. And so let's talk about that. Empowering you to turn I could never into yes, I can.
Yeah.
Explain that to me.
Well, so for example, I built from hand a horse stable. I built a barn on my property. I was told when I was growing up, I would never, I grew up in a pretty impoverished family. We would never get a horse. So I got my first horse at age 40 and I named her Never. And
I
then,
love that.
yeah, and then on the wall of the barn that I built and lifted and raised by hand, I put all the nevers that I was always told. I burned them into the wood. You'll never be able to have children. You'll never graduate
Oh,
from
wow.
college. So I have a wall of, I've since sold the home in the country, but there was a wall that of all the nevers I was told, and I'm terrified of heights. And so I was told I would never, ever be able to stand on the edge of a 2,000-foot cliff. I would never be able to have children. I have 4. I would never graduate from college because people in our family didn't even usually graduate from high school. All of these nevers that I've been told, and you'll never run a marathon because you hate running and you haven't run more than a mile in your life. And even though I vomited at the end of it, I ran a half marathon without stopping. And I had, yes, I can, painted on the back of my t-shirt. So what I'm trying to do is reach an audience of women who have been told never, and help empower them into reimagining their lives where they can move toward joy and overcome obstacles and challenges that they never thought they could.
I love that. I will tell you, I absolutely love it. I love this message. I love so many things. There's a couple things I would say that will benefit you here. And that is, of course, moving this statement up and making it front and center. Right now it's cut off.
What did you mean by button, putting a button there?
So we as human beings on the internet, we want to be told where to go. We don't want to have to think about what the next step is or figure it out. At every time you give people several choices or you give them more than one option, you will lose people in that moment. By putting just a single button that directs them to whatever the next step is for you, and whether that's getting a hold of you, planning a meeting, or doing a discovery meeting, any of these things, or session, I should say, whatever you want the next step for your user to take is where that button should take them. Does that make sense?
So would that be in the horizontal line where it says you are?
I would put it right below yes, I can.
Oh,
that's where I would put it, like right. So if you scroll down a little, and I would move this message up, and then right below that yes, I can, I would say something that speaks to that, something along the lines of I want to know how you can, or learn how you can, or something along those lines that speaks to your brand and your message. That is, and I would put it in. It looks like your palette right now is blues. I mean, it's pretty much, we're in a blue world, right? Do you have a pop of color that you want, or a color you hate or like, let's say?
Do I have? I mean, obviously there's a pop in the
so red. We as human beings, if we're looking at neuromarketing, tend to click green buttons and red buttons the most. Second to that, we click orange buttons and yellow buttons. So I would put it, yeah, bring in that pop of color right there on your shirt would be fantastic for a button. I would also consistently have all your buttons be that color. Again, it's that subconscious training of this is where I click, this is where I go next, this is very clear. Then you can leave your menu as it is because that red button is going to really stand out. It seems like such a little thing, but it will make such a big difference. It will also get people to the next step. And whatever that next step is, the idea is you want them to take the clearest, straightest, clearest and straightest path to you and hiring your services. Whatever that is, whatever that first step in your services is, if it's a discovery call, if it's a group coaching session, if it's, I mean, it's different, it varies coach to coach. So that really depends on you figuring out what your sales funnel is, essentially.
So all of this stuff up here, you are, I am, all of that stuff could go below the fold.
So if let's just look at the menu right now. So you are, I am, okay, I think I'm understanding that I am is your about me, right? Schedule a free call, services, let's do this. Let's do this, I am confused by, I'm not sure what that is. Schedule a free call, I get that might be probably the first step for people, I would imagine, right?
Okay. Yep, so that might go in the button down below, yes, I can.
Absolutely. So that's where I would have that button lead you. Okay. You're going to want in every section, this is true for everybody, in every section of your website, you want a button that will take them to the next step. That is just the nature. By the way, your color, choosing blue is a great color. Every color has a lot of psychology to it. And I'm a big fan of neuromarketing. And with blues, you put people at ease. It gives people the concept of trust, wisdom. Banks use blue because of that. You'll notice like every bank pretty much has a blue in their logo, and that is because blue innately puts people at comfort. It slows down the heart rate. It's a very calming color, so good choice.
Okay, and then this is where I was gonna. That's my dog. This is.
And that's the other thing too is we want to see your face on this homepage, and I want to see you front and center. I want to know who Storylyn is. As your user, I want to know and connect with you immediately. It's very important.
Are you saying not use this image then?
Yeah, you can use that image. I would, but I would have somewhere very quickly below you, like who you are, and that I want to attach to you because you are your brand.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. If coaches, this is something we've got to, having a face of your brand is critical. People, that's what people connect with. That's what they bond with. You can make your clients your face, but that's going to change and change. If you want consistency is key in marketing because it builds trust. Get your face out there and make it be one of the first things people see for sure.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And then we'll have you stop your share so I can see everybody again. And then hi. All right, who's next? That was a lot of information, right? Shireen, Yael.
So I don't know, like, but I feel like I'm like so much like, you know, like even before the starting point. So I started my, like I would say website, but I don't even know if it's still working, as like Psych Shireen. And I just wrote some parenting like blogs there. I had a very like a very made up picture taken for that. Mm-hmm. So now my question is, so after my level 1, I decided that like, you know, like my brand name should be my name, but I don't want to put my last name as my brand name because like I want this my name. Mm-hmm. Like my first name is my identity. So I want that as my brand name. So mm-hmm. Now that I make it, like I saw Story's picture and it's like such a powerful picture because it shows who she is and what she loves. I don't have a picture like that. So should I like get a picture taken?
Well, you have your own picture. You can have your own, I mean, whatever that is for you. It doesn't have to be you standing on a rock. Tell me about your client, your ideal client. And real quick though, I'm gonna say hi to Miriam. Hi, good to see you.
Okay, so my ideal client would be a mother. Like, you know, I'm a mother in her 30s, 40s, who's struggling with finding the right balance in parenting. Like, you know, like if not being able to give enough time, but while still taking care of everything around, like finding how to take care of herself so that she can help her kids. So
Okay. Now, what image do you feel could communicate you as a coach to that client?
I mean, definitely something to humanize me, like, you know, me with my kids, but I'm not sure like if I should like put my kids out there on the
That's up to you. I mean, there are ways around that. If you don't want to, you know, have your kids on there, you can always, there are, what symbols can represent a mother?
Oh, I was like power, I would think, compassion, like, you know, so like I made a logo, but it's still like just hand drawn logo, but it's like more like a caring hands with this tiny brain in between those hands.
Mm-hmm. I that's sweet. I like that. I mean, it represents, this is what I get from that. It represents the care of growing brain, right? Like a growing mind, which is beautiful. Honestly, I don't think that it requires that you have an image of you standing on the edge of a cliff or something along those lines. I think you standing in your power in a space that you feel comfortable in, wherever that may be for you, it will be equally as effective. It's
so
just,
for me, individuality means a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, like even as a mother, I am me first. So, but I don't want to like have like such a powerful image that like will intimidate people. Like, you know.
Don't worry about, so this is something you've got to let go of. And I'm saying this for everybody here. Let go of that concern that you will scare people away. Let go of the concern that you sharing you will frighten people, scare them off, will turn them off, will make them run, because that unique part of you, that powerful part of you, is exactly what will draw your ideal client to you. That aspect of you that you are most scared to share with the world, that you are still proud of, is exactly what will draw people to you. And we all get intimidated to share those parts of ourselves. We're all scared because at some point somebody was intimidated by our power, by our strengths, by our uniqueness, and they told us it was bad. It's not. Celebrate it, bring that out and show it. We call it a unique selling point. It is your authenticity, and it is what people will purchase, because when you're showing that part of you, they will connect with you because they have that part in them too, and they're looking for somebody who does as well. And so sharing those parts of ourselves, sharing those strong parts, the vulnerable parts, all of those things, that is what connects people with us. People buy from an emotional place, and they are looking for people they trust and connect with. And so sharing that, you standing in your strength and your power, if it intimidates somebody, they're not your ideal client, right? That's not who you want. And there's plenty of people out there for everybody. There really is.
So,
yeah, go ahead.
For you, Brooke, regarding that, do you recommend using your name as the title of your website, or a clever, Get a Life coach?
It works either way. So here, the benefit of, let's say, something like Get a Life Coach is it's really easy to remember, right? That's just boom, I've got it. It's right in my head. It, however, is not necessarily as branded as using your own name, right? If you are wanting to establish yourself as an expert, have your name be something that is a name brand, then using your own name is very beneficial. There are, without a doubt, ways, benefits and drawbacks. There are ways for you to use keywords in your SEO and to still come up when somebody types Get a Life Coach and have its story Lynn's still come up. Our SEO, when people search for ICF or International Coach Federation, we come up. Not because we are them, but because we have their name in our SEO. So you can, without a doubt, still position yourself amongst people who have kitschy things like Get a Life Coach. Do keep in mind, though, when you are picking URLs, when you are doing things of that nature and choosing your brand name, you want something that's easy to spell and that's easy for people to remember, because you're going to have to repeat it over and over. Anytime you give somebody your email address, anytime you're on a podcast and people ask how to get a hold of you, these are the times that you're going to have to say it. I mean, it has gotten much better with being able to just click a link or a button, but that's still not the case that having to say this is how you find us is very much still a thing. I know the pain of it because at CLCI, our URL is painfully long, certifiedlifecoachinstitute.com, and having to say that to people over and over again. We've actually bought several shorter ones. I just have to do the transfer. So just bear that in mind. That's for your own well-being. Ideally, what you do want in a URL, and you do want to put it also in your title, you want to put it in your description, you want to put it everywhere, is a keyword that really speaks. It's like your number one, which would probably be for most of you guys coaching of some kind. And you want that in your URL if you can. You want that in your titles, in your descriptions, in everything. That one word, whatever that may be, or phrase, and make sure that that is consistent across the board and get it in your URL if at all possible.
So like Storylyn Life Coach is fine.
It's perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Because you've got your name and your keyword right there. Boom, boom. So you've already taken a step in the perfect SEO world, which search engine optimization. It's basically how people find people on the internet. And Google has an algorithm. Certain things. It's a science at the end of the day. But one of the best things you can do is to have that be consistent. Have in your URL, in that title, in that description, those keywords. The description has to come out to a sentence that actually makes sense. You can't just, write life coach, life coach, life coach. They do have some requirements, and then there's a lot to it from there. But honestly, it is a long-term game with SEO, just to share this. It's not don't expect to, put it all in and to be on the first page the first day. It takes a year. It takes 6 months to a year for it to really start to populate, for you to really start to fill out your site and get traffic and backlinking and all the elements to start to come into play. Same with blogs and things like that. Don't expect those to be something that overnight is going to be a huge benefit. But if you fill them out, you keep them going, they have good topics, and it's a long-term game. Some things in marketing are long-term games. Blogs and SEO, those are the long-term kind of games.
So can you break that down for us a little bit more, Brooke, in terms of SEO? You say when you fill out your description, is this like a website? I mean,
so you have the benefit of being on Wix. Wix has SEO Wizard, which is kind of awesome. And it will walk you through each step of how to do your SEO. Now, to a point, after that, what they don't get you into very much is metadata and stuff. Wix, even now, which is really awesome, it automatically labels your pictures for you, because you used to have to manually go into every single picture on your site and write in a description and say, what Google wants to know is when the way the algorithm works, we'll say, is it scans a site. When it scans your site, it wants to, I guess, just in words or just in code, know everything that's going on that site. So it wants a description of the pictures so that it knows, and that's so that it can share it with visually impaired of what's on that screen. It wants a description of every single thing that's on there about what the site is about, and all of it should be consistent all the way down. It also wants, you'll select a certain number of keywords. That is so that it knows where to put you in the searchable database. And so that's important as well. If you have a sales page, we get into like meta tagging, which this is a little more advanced, where it wants you to go ahead, put in what is for sale there, what the price is, and a description, but do this in a form of code. What's amazing now is they have generators for you. So you can just Google the generator for how to do that, like meta tagging generator, and then put it into your code. And you can do this on Wix without any issue. There's other steps to it too. The reason they want you to blog, the reason blogging is critical is because what Google wants is on the top of their first page, they want the most informative, the most visited, the most, the top sites. The way they define that is by what kind of information that site is providing, what kind of traffic that site is getting. And so this is where writing an article, writing a thorough blog or 2 or 3 comes in. And it doesn't have to be written. You can do video. It scans video now, which is kind of amazing. So you can vlog and have it be equally as efficient. We do both vlogging and blogging because it's twofold at that point. But the key to is not to have a whole bunch. It's quality, not quantity. So write one good blog and then fill it out and fill it out and fill it out with the most amount of information. Also get backlinks in there. What's a backlink? A backlink is a link to another site that then links itself to you. There are various ways to do that. If let's say you did a live with us and we wrote an article about you and you had a new site and we linked to your site and then you linked to that article, what we've created is a backlink. What that will do is benefit you on your website, because now you are linked to a site that gets 20,000 people in traffic on a regular monthly basis, right? So because of that, your site, which is likely new and not getting the same amount of traffic, has instantly gone up a few notches in the eyes of the Google algorithm, because by virtue of us linking to you means that you are a valid site. Google does not want sites that are invalid, that are dormant, that aren't being trafficked on their first pages. So the idea is to start to generate that traffic, to start to generate those backlinks, and to start to get people to your site. And you can do that by using sites that already have that kind of traffic. And that's one of the reasons we offer the lives to you guys, is for this benefit as well. So
Brooke, I have one more question.
A lot of information. SEO, it's like everybody's head start. Yes, Shireen, how can I help you?
So when you were talking to Story about above the fold, and so above the fold, now I think I'm going to have a different perspective whenever I look at a website. But one of the things that I remember Ray mentioned in our level 1, she said that on your website, always have something that, you want people
punch in the face?
No. But something like a freebie.
Oh, a freebie. So yes,
right?
we call those lead hooks
So should I put it above the fold, or is it okay if it goes below?
It really depends. So so what that does is it collects people's information. So if you, a lot of times those lead hooks will have their own landing pages. A lot of times, because a lot of times those lead hooks are when people are, again, think about yourself, think about how you cruise the internet. If I am, let's say I'm searching for the top 10 life coach schools, I'm going to type that in to my search bar, and then every article I click on should fall into that realm. And when I get there and click onto it, it should take me to an article that has that theme. If it diverges in any way, I'm going to click out, because it's not giving me the information I want and I'm searching for. So that's why a lot of times those lead hooks have their own landing pages, because a lot of times they're very targeted. It's if it's a giveaway like free meditation, people are searching for meditations. They're not searching for life coach services, but it's a great way to get their information and introduce yourself to them if they find your meditation. So it doesn't necessarily have to be above the fold. It's also a great way too, though, if people are already searching for a life coach, to give them a little extra something. So having that on your page is a nice thing, because again, it's another way to collect their information. So this is the key here, is you want to be able to collect their information and get their permission to market to them later. Once they give you their email address, they have given you their permission to market to them, which already makes them more inclined to purchase from you, because it means that you've already stepped up a level of trust, because you asked their permission to market to them. And now they have granted it to you. Hi, Carol. I can't hear you.
I was just saying, I miss you. It's been days.
I know, it's been days and days. It's good to see you. Sorry, I had to say hello.
Thanks.
Did that answer your question, Shireen? It did? Okay, good. Okay, good.
Are there some examples of other freebies that would be appropriate?
Oh, absolutely. For coaches, appropriate freebies. You can do meditations. You can do handouts. You can do our homework that we give you. That like do a self-assessment of in level 1. The homework we give you. The am I? What is it? The self-care assessment. You could, and we give that to you. You could actually take that self-care assessment, rebrand it, and give it away as a freebie. Not only is that a fantastic, same with the life wheel, it's a fantastic freebie to give away. Why? Because it makes your client look into themselves and look at their lives and what they want to change. So by virtue of giving them that, if they fill it out, they're going to go, shoot, I want this to be better. I want this to be better. I want this to be better. And they're filling it out on your branded piece of paper or what have you, or digital version. And not only have you shown them the problem, you are also giving them the solution simultaneously. So this is actually, Tony Robbins uses this as a marketing technique. One of the first things he has any of the people that visit his site do is fill out a version of the life wheel. They then take that information, because they fill it out on his site so that they can get that information of what those people are suffering from, or what their pain points are. And he tailors the emails and marketing he sends them from there forward based on the results they gave in that life wheel, which is it's brilliant, right? Because not only does it bring awareness to the client with what their pain points are and what they want to improve in their life, it also simultaneously gives him a bunch of information with regard to how to market to that person and how to tailor that marketing to that person's needs. So, that's one of the reasons he is so successful, is because his marketing is fantastic. Makes sense? She disappeared. So that's those tools that we give you a lot of tools, especially in level 1 in that toolbox. We give you things you can, there's a list of people who have done things by age that are pretty amazing. That's a freebie. Any kind of personal assessment could be a freebie. Any kind of to-do list or goal setting worksheet. We give you a lot of these things in your level 1, and we give it to you in a version that you guys can, without a doubt, rebrand and use. We want you to, please do. So I build those out, and I build those out for you guys so that you guys can rebrand them and reuse them in your own practices. We have several on the site as well, and I will give you guys links to those, so that if you want, those could be your jumping off point. One of the keys, though, is to brand it and make it your own, because the knowing their pain points, knowing how to speak to them, and then being the solution in your own unique process is really the final step there. And so figuring out what that is for you, what your unique process is very critical as well.
Brooke, you put your email address on the chat. I have a question. So let's suppose if I get stuck at a step, can I just email you? I don't want to bother you. Just.
Absolutely, you can. Okay. Absolutely. I'm here for you guys. I also offer, just so you know, and I offer a marketing mentorship, and where I can meet with you guys. And I do it for $99 for half an hour. But if it's a quick question, if it's simple, if it's small, without a doubt, I'd love to answer it. I'm here. Just call. I always say, just call the office between normal hours, and myself or Lisa, who is completely and fully equipped to help as well, will answer and absolutely be there for you. And anything that she feels like she can't answer, she'll direct to me. So we are here for you guys. Absolutely. So any other questions?
I have a question. So if I write a blog about, for example, my life coaching journey, and I add your website address, a link to your website, is that considered a backlink?
That's a one-way link. So you would have to get us to link back to you. So you would have to let us know that you're writing this article, and let us know that we're in it, and we would then talk and find a way to, or a reason for us to then include a link to that article and something that we're doing. So that way there's a link both ways. You can do this with other sites too. One of the greatest things you can do is start to coaches that you admire, coaches that have big followings, anything like that, get on their radar, start to be active in their social, start to make podcasts, start to make that connection with them, and to sort of reach out to them, and then write an article about the top, 5 life coaching podcasts, and then put all of their links in there. And all you need is one of them to link to it on their site somehow, and say, hey, this great article is written about us, and put a boom on their site. And now you have a backlink. So it's a fantastic thing you can do. It's fairly, you can also pay for them too, if I'm honest. There's several ways to pay for it. You can pay for influencers. You can pay for it through advertising. If I run an ad on ICF's website, let's say, as a school, immediately they have to link to me. If I have any links to them, we now have a backlink, and now my SEO has gone up as a result because of that. Because now I'm linked to a major organization for in Google's eyes. So there are ways you can also, if to get into it further, if you're starting to get into paid marketing, you can approach influencers who have a bigger following than you and say, hey, can we do a trade of some kind where I'll write an article, you write an article, we write an article for one another. And this is kind of what we're doing with Life Coach Path right now, is I'm writing an article for their site, they're writing an article for our site. It's mutually beneficial because it will expand our audience, and we will both get links both directions. And how do I do that? How did I get into these people's ears? It's kind of shameless, if I'm honest, and I'll share it with you. I will Google the top schools. I will Google the top that has to do with coaching. I will then read the article, go to the bottom. If they don't mention us, I will shamelessly leave a comment in their comment section, and I'll do it repeatedly, saying, hey, I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Certified Life Coach Institute. I think we have an amazing product, and I think you should be mentioning us here. And I will list our accolades, and and I do it in such a way that is friendly and that is knowing that it's a shameless plug. But all it takes, again, is one person to read that and reach out to me. And now I've developed a contact and a relationship with that person. And we can start to get to know each other. And we have a jump off point for let's see how we can make this a beneficial relationship, essentially. And so marketing is a full-time job. In my free time, I don't spend a lot of my free time Googling, cat videos. I spend most of it Googling things like top 10 life coaching schools and doing that and leaving comments and things of that nature. Although I do like my cat videos.
I just say, I don't know about that.
You have to take a break every so often for a cat video. So they're just so cute too. It makes me want more. Not doing it though. I refuse. Did that help, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. It's my absolute pleasure. And that's what we're here. That's what I'm here for. And I'm happy to share any knowledge that I have come up with along the way. Oh, look at the kitty. Oh, look at him. Oh, he looks like a teddy bear. Like,
This
look at that. Look at
Nimbus
his face.
magnificus.
He's big.
He's a 25-pound Maine Coon cat.
Oh, he's a Maine Coon. That's why. Okay. I love his face. It's
He's
so
massive.
cute. Yeah. Wow, 5 pounds. Look at
Yeah.
him.
25.
Sweetheart though, total sweetheart.
No, he's got an apple.
Absolutely not. Any other questions? We're probably, well, he said at the hour, so we'll probably start to wrap it up here. I see a Dan. Yes.
There. Yeah, we got a few. There's 10 minutes till I officially start, so we'll just kind of ease into it.
Okay, wonderful. We've had quite a few viewers, not too many people participating today, but
They have one job.
And look at Niels is here, and Niels is from Germany. Hello.
Guten Tag.
We were just talking about trying to get some international students on a live to talk about that experience, but we were like, you would have to be up at 1 a.m. though.
No, it's 8 p.m. now, because thankful to your recent time shift. It's
don't get me started on daylight savings time. I hate daylight savings time. Passionate loathing. Dan's heard it. Dan knows. But I'm glad it's beneficial to you. That is. So for that, I will complain less about my daylight savings time switch today.
We did it just for you and Nadine, Niels.
Yes,
the
we
entire
did.
country
We did.
changed time just for you.
For you.
and I really appreciate it.
Well, I'm going to wrap up on the Facebook side of everything. Thank you guys out there so much for watching. Make sure you guys check out Certified Life Coach Institute. We certify life coaches in 3 days. Today is our second level course with our master level certified coaches. And thank you coaches, everybody here, for all of your questions and helping this be a successful lunch and learn. I appreciate you guys. And that's it. All right, guys, have a good day. Bye.